What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you're coming along with me today. We're making a thing of homemade laundry detergent. I've shared this a couple of times on my channel, but we're restocking today. I needed to restock some of my homemade cleaners and of my homemade coffee creamer. So those are some of my most requested recipes and things. So we're going through all of those things today, and we're gonna show you how we do those very simply, very quick. I started this project at 8:30 and have gotten all of these things done in 45 minutes. Plus I have all the kids. I'm rocking myself by myself this morning. It's Sunday morning. Very slow, very easy. Just kind of took care of these things while I sipped on my cup of coffee. So here we're gonna make our laundry detergent. We're making 2 things of homemade all-purpose spray, and we're going to make a batch of homemade vanilla coffee creamer. We are also going to be making a batch of homemade caramel sauce in our crock pot today, so that we can make some more caramel coffee creamer, because that's my favorite, but I'm out. So we're going to show you guys how I make caramel so that I can make caramel coffee creamer and just have like caramel for dipping in apples or for putting on top of coffees or on top of ice creams, things like that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you guys how I make all 4 of those things today, and with very simple things. I will have as much linked down below as I possibly can for you guys. Ingredients wise, jars if I can find them, these spray bottles, anything that I can find, I will have linked down below in my description box for you guys. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling and hopping in. And I think we're going to go ahead and start with our homemade laundry detergent here, because that's what takes the longest. So let's go. I will link the actual blog post down below where I got this laundry soap recipe, so that you can go ahead and check that out and see if this is something you're interested in. But I've been making this laundry soap since the beginning of the year, and I really do enjoy it. I have made it with and without the borax. To be honest, I don't really see a huge difference in anything whether I use it, the borax, or not. However, I'm thinking that that might change heading into summer. My kids are going to be more in the dirt and in the sandbox and in the garden. I think that the borax is going to be more noticeable if I don't put it in there. So we're putting our borax in this batch and kind of moving forward. But if you don't have the borax and you want to give it a go, and started making a batch of coffee creamer as well. I don't measure my coffee creamer ingredients anymore, so it always tastes a little bit different, but I will write down in the description the original recipe that I started using. Once again, I've been making this since about the beginning of the year. Really like it. I have not bought a store-bought coffee creamer since. It is very easy to put together. It takes about 5 minutes, give or take, and it's really delicious. So I also went ahead and wanted to make sure that I was getting a double batch, if you will, of all-purpose cleaner here. And I will have these bottles and the Castle soap and everything linked down below for you guys if you're kind of interested in these as well. I just fill them up with water, just regular old water from the faucet, put in a little squeeze of Castle soap. I don't really measure anything. You're going to find that that is kind of my go-to, is just a squirt of this and a squirt of that, and kind of swirl it up, and these are ready to go. It really is that simple. So while I was doing that, everything was kind of cooking down and dissolving in my pot of water here for our laundry soap. Once that happens, I go ahead and you're going to put in about a cup of Castle soap, and then you're going to add in an extra 6-8 cups of water here, and this is 1 batch of laundry detergent. I leave this on the stove. My burner is still on. I'm going to keep stirring it, keep letting it cook down for about another 5 minutes or so, and then I turn my burner off and I let it sit and just cool. Make sure that everything is actually dissolved, and we'll just continue to stir it and let it sit up on the stove after it's all kind of cooked together for about probably another 10-15 minutes just to cool off. Same thing with my coffee creamer. Once everything is dissolved here, the sugar, if I'm putting in a scoop of caramel, make sure that's dissolved, and then all I have to do is put it in a mason jar, and that's pretty much it. I do sit and let this cool for a little bit without a top on it, because if you put the top on, sometimes the residual heat will actually seal your lid. Not like a proper seal, nothing like that, but it can make it so it's a little bit harder to pull off the cap. So I tend to just set it here, let it cool for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'll put the lid and the ring on it and store it in the refrigerator. So I'm just gonna leave this here for now, just push it up higher on the counter so it doesn't spill. For our laundry soap here, this is actually done. I have tried to do it a couple of times where I try to kind of rush it and move through it really quickly, and I'll show you in my jars right now. You can get clumps of whatever. I don't know exactly what it is. Probably Castile soap that clumps up. It's not that big of a deal. I'm still using it. I've never had an issue with it in my washer or dryer. It's just I have to shake it my jar a little bit to kind of break everything apart. It can kind of congeal a little bit. So take your time, make sure that you're letting everything dissolve. You're letting it boil for probably 10 minutes or so, and you're not gonna have to shake it. It doesn't congeal like that when you actually take your time and do it properly. But on days where I'm trying to rush through it, I always end up regretting that I'm doing that, because then every time I do a load of laundry, I have to shake apart all the clumps in my jars. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing here. I'm gonna leave it here, let it cool a little bit, and go get my jars off my washing machine. I'm gonna get those kind of rinsed out and washed out because they need a good scrubbing a little bit. There's some soap scum in there I want to get rid of, and then we'll get this loaded into our new jars and taken care of for today. So I wanted to get that done. I'm feeling good. My laundry soap was done. I got my coffee, and I was able to mix up 2 more things of Castile soap spray just for like all-purpose cleaning and whatnot. I pretty much switched to this only. I still use Windex, and I still keep Lysol and Clorox wipes around, but I don't use those anymore. I just keep them around for other things, flu things. They're just nice to still have, but for my day-to-day cleaning, this is what I use, and I'm loving them. So I've been using these since the first of the year, and so about 5 months. I'm loving them. Love these a lot. I use them on literally everything, except I do still use Windex for a couple things like my TV and my windows, but I do use these on my mirrors and stuff. I use these on my windows too, but I have a bulk thing of Windex, so I'm still using it. But here we go. Here's this cans here. That's all I'm doing today because this caramel sauce does have to be refrigerated, and I don't want to take up a ton of room in my refrigerator right now, so I'm going to be using some mason jars here, and these cans take up about 1 of these mason jars, about. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these opened, and all we're gonna do is pour our sweetened condensed milk into these mason jars, and then we're gonna put our mason jars filled with our condensed milk in the crock pot with water, and turn it on low for about 6-ish hours or so. Here's what I'm talking about when things can get kind of chunky if you don't cook it down enough. Like I said, I haven't had an issue with it in my washing machine or anything like that, but it is inconvenient because every time I go to do a thing of laundry, I just shake the. But here's my empty one. I'm gonna rinse this out and clean it out so I can put laundry detergent in this one as well. I just want to get it cleaned out, and then I'll just top this one off with the rest of my stuff and probably pick out some of the bigger chunks that are left on top. So that's my plan with these. Every time I show these jars, I get questions on them. I love them. They are really nice. I got these from TJ Maxx for $10 a jar, so $20 for 2 of these. Absolutely love them. They're fantastic. They're a gallon. I get questions on that a lot too. So just depending on like the season, one of these gallons lasts my family of 6 about a month and a half, 2 months ish, 2.5 months, just depending. There are always times where you have more laundry, more bedding that needs to be washed, more towels that need to be washed, whatever it is, the flu hits, you go through things faster, but that's just typical. So I'm gonna get this one washed out, get this one loaded in, and get these ready to go for, you know, another couple months of doing the laundry for my family. This filled almost all the way to the top, and you have to remember I had a little bit left in here. Sorry, that's my microwave reminding me not to forget your coffee in the microwave for the 3rd day in a row. But one batch fills this gallon-sized thing up almost perfectly, but do remember we had a little bit left in here. So same thing, I tend to leave it just like this, continue to let it cool off a little bit. It's not very hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and I just close it up and set this whole thing on top of my washer and dryer, and it's perfect. So I only made enough today for one batch, but typically I make a double batch and fill both of these up, but I want to get this cleaned out, and I know I was not gonna have time to take care of this properly this morning, so I'm just gonna put this up by my sink, and later today during nap time when I have a little bit more time, I'm gonna clean this out with the rest of my dishes from the morning. So that's what I'm gonna do, but I got a batch here, and then probably in the next couple days I'll make a second batch and put it in here. I do like to do that so that I can get 2 separate scents if I want to. This is lavender. The other one I've learned I really like for my laundry is citrus castle soap. You guys are actually the ones that told me that in a comment. You guys really like the citrus, and I agree. So I'm gonna be getting some bulk sizes of these. During the first of the year, I ordered a multi-pack. They're linked down below in the description box. But I ordered a 6-pack of all of these kind of smaller sizes of all different scents so that I could figure out what my family liked, what we liked them for, if there was any that we absolutely hated. And now that I know all those things, I'm gonna order some bulk sizes off of Amazon as well. But this multi-pack, I highly recommend it. I would order this again for sure. These are really nice, these small ones, for making some of my little soaps here, or my multi-surface sprays that I make. I like having these little ones on hand. They're really easy to just squeeze in there. But these were nice to get started, to figure out what we liked. So I would recommend doing that for sure, but now that I know that, we're gonna get some bulk ones ordered. I'm probably gonna do that in the next month or so. I don't have a lot of these left, but that should go to show you too. I ordered these the first of the year, and it's May, and I'm just now getting to the point where some of these are pretty much almost gone, and I've been using these to make all of my surface sprays, all of my laundry soaps for the last 5 months. So that should go to show you that there is a lot in these little ones too. So there's that. Just very quickly this morning, I was able to get everything done that I wanted to get done, everything restocked. I got 2 things of purpose spray, our laundry detergent, and my coffee creamer going. All really important things, if you ask me. So thank you guys so much for coming along with me today, making some homemade soaps and homemade coffee creamer, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye.